Going nowhere fast. The evening commute brought to a standstill in the capital city tonight after a tractor trailer flips across Interstate 91, backing up traffic for miles. Whew. Good evening. I-91 South completely closed between exits 29A and 27.
Drivers being urged to avoid that downtown area. Fox Connecticut's Javon Vital joins us live near the scene tonight. Javon, any word on how long that area is going to be shut down?
Good evening, Brent and Audrey. It's a mess out here, and the interstate's being opened and closed sporadically. And just to give you an idea, you can look behind me and see right now. Actually, you can hear this. Hang on one sec. Take a look at this. It's being a very loud scene, as well as the debris is being pushed off of the road and dumped over onto the side of 91 southbound. Traffic once again has been stopped as the cleanup crews need to just get all of this stuff out of the roadway. You can see a very long line of traffic there in the distance. DOT, along with Connecticut State Police, along with other crews here. Earlier, we did see an ambulance and EMS crews, but we did find out that there were no reported injuries, luckily, from this accident. And it's certainly a messy one. You can see with all this debris and this massive cleanup going on right now. We understand it happened around 2:30 this afternoon around exits 28 and 27 on Interstate 91 southbound. According to state police, that flatbed was carrying a large cargo of 2x4s and wood. And as it was rounding this corner here near the Colt factory, the forces of physics took over and it simply just rocked from side to side, dumping its cargo on either side of Interstate 91. And you can see, oh, it's dumping another load here. There you go. You can hear this again. It's a very loud scene there, but its cargo goes over the sides and the truck itself flips over onto its side. Again, luckily no reported injuries, but it did make for a very, very huge mess, causing miles upon miles long delays here on 91 southbound. So to give you an idea, and if you are watching this and you are at work, you are advised to just avoid this area altogether. This section of 91 southbound in Hartford, one lane just seconds ago just opened up as police again sporadically try to get those drivers in and out of this area and through this area. But again, you're better off just taking the long way and getting out of this area. We're going to be checking back in with you in just a little bit, but for now, reporting live in Hartford, Javon Vital, Fox Connecticut.
He is respected amongst his peers, adored and idolized by the children. I mean, it's actually shocking.
New at 5, a longtime middle school teacher in Wilton is caught red-handed in a compromising position with a 14-year-old. A Trumbull police officer says he stumbled upon the pair parking in an SUV.
Now, Fox Connecticut's Mike Krafsik joins us live from the Trumbull movie theater where the alleged crime went down. Mike.
Yeah, Brendan Audrey, 37-year-old Timothy Leonard was charged with fourth-degree sexual assault, a Wilton middle school teacher. He was found engaging in sexual acts with a 14-year-old in this parking lot of the Bowtie Cinemas here in Trumbull. The two met online on a dating website. Police say Leonard thought the boy was 18. Dr. Timothy Leonard is a 7th grade language arts teacher here at Middlebrook School for 18 years. Tonight, he is suspended with pay pending an investigation.
I think the sentiment is that this is incredibly shocking news. He is somebody who's been in the community for a long time, as I mentioned before. It's very disturbing.
Trumbull police say around 7:30 Tuesday night, a patrol officer noticed a black Jeep parked in a secluded area of the parking lot.
To him, they appeared very nervous.
The 37-year-old admitted to having relations with the boy, who told police he was 18 and met Leonard on a dating app called Grindr, which caters toward gay, bi, and curious guys. The boy claimed to be 18 on the site as well.
To the officer, he said it was obvious he wasn't 18 years old, and that's why he continued his investigation and interviews on scene and ultimately determined he was 14 years old.
I can't imagine. There's never been anything. No one has ever thought anything. No one got a creepy feeling from him, ever.
Diane McDermott has 2 sons. Both had Leonard as a teacher while in middle school. She says Leonard was married and recently had a child with his wife, also a teacher at Middlebrook, a fact the superintendent did not refute. This mom also tells us Leonard was affectionately known as D-Len.
He is respected amongst his peers, adored and idolized by the children. I mean, it's actually shocking. And
Now, Leonard is out on bond tonight. Police are also filing a warrant to search his cell phone and computer. Leonard is also an adjunct professor at Fairfield University. He's been suspended there without pay. We're live in Trumbull. Mike Kravesick, Fox, Connecticut.
Parents in Hartford marching to the state capitol today to get answers about hazardous chemicals found at Clark Elementary School in Hartford. Many say they're concerned about possible health effects from the chemicals found during a construction project over Christmas break, and they're requesting an emergency meeting with Governor Malloy.
He quickly to say that I am the governor for great schools. I am the governor for equity and for equality. This is the time that he needs to step up to the plate to say that Hartford is the second poorest city in the country. So we know that it has issues.
Students have been transferred to alternate school buildings for the remainder of the school year and possibly next. Parents complain they weren't given any say in the matter. Word from Governor Malloy's office this evening. The state's education department touched base with parents this afternoon and is in talks with Hartford's superintendent.
Are you telling this jury there were no other shoe prints in that area that night, Trooper Lombard?
No, there were other ones.
But you didn't film any of those, right?
That's correct.
In the hot seat, a state trooper takes a stand, getting grilled by defense attorneys who allege sloppy police work in the case against Aaron Hernandez. The testimony came shortly after another juror was booted from the case.
Yeah, today's dismissal means there are just 4 alternates now left to decide the fate of the former NFLer.
Fox Connecticut's John Charlton has been following the testimony, and he joins us now with the very latest. John?
Audrey and Brent, all the judge would say about today's dismissal was that it was due to personal reasons which have nothing to do with the case. That leaves a jury pool now of 16, and down the road, there's a good chance that they will hear from Aaron Hernandez's fiancée.
Shayanna Jenkins could soon have to swap out her seat in the gallery for the one on the stand, now that the judge granted her immunity from prosecution. That means if called to testify against her fiancé, Aaron Hernandez, she can't plead the fifth and will have to answer questions about her role following Odin Lloyd's murder. Investigators believe the day after the killing, Jenkins helped Hernandez get rid of the murder weapon, a .45 caliber Glock handgun.
He's wearing a gray suit with a purple tie in the back there.
Your Honor, the record can reflect the witness identifying the defendant.
Massachusetts State Trooper Michael Lombard was in charge of video recording the crime scene.
What was the condition of the ground when you were recording this?
It was real hard packed with puddles.
Trooper Lombard testified that he could see cars passing by off in the distance. He described the tarps and tents over evidence and over Lloyd's body. With tarps removed, Lloyd's mother couldn't watch her son laying there, and Hernandez also appeared to look away. Lombard then talked about the uncovered evidence.
And in which direction was that tire impression going in relation to the body?
It was, the way I was panning, it was from out towards the body.
There was also a series of impressions from shoes, including ones documented with a scale ruler.
So when you photograph that, you can bring it to a 1-to-1 for comparison purposes.
Lombard later testified that he was there when police took finger and palm prints from Hernandez. He was also there on a visit with Hernandez's so-called right-hand man, Ernest Wallace.
They were measuring his size of his foot.
On cross-examination, the defense continued to try to show that the crime scene investigation was sloppy, having Lombard admit that there were other shoe prints at the scene, which he did not video record. Then there was the next law enforcement witness who testified about documenting evidence removed before the rainstorm came.
Did you also report in your log that a baseball hat was removed from the scene?
No.
Did you report in your log that a blunt or a marijuana cigarette was removed from the scene?
No.
Now, Judge Susan Garsh suspended the trial just before 11 today, and it is scheduled to resume Friday morning. The judge said that there are scheduling issues. The trial is already behind schedule due to 5 snow days. John Charlton, Fox, Connecticut.
Live ammunition and a lack of water proved to be especially difficult for firefighters battling a blaze in Preston today. People on the scene were told to stay back because there was ammo going off. Luckily, no one was hurt, but the home on Miller Road is considered a complete loss. We're told the homeowner is an antique arms dealer and a volunteer firefighter for a nearby department. Here we snow again. Tomorrow's evening commute could be a little slippery, but nothing really major.
Now, this time around, just a few inches, but looking ahead, you may have to spend Sunday shoveling. Fox Connecticut's Matt Scott is on the weather watch for us tonight. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Audrey. Looks like we've got a few opportunities for snow coming in a 7-day forecast, and that's pretty much been the routine as of February so far. Not a big deal for tonight into tomorrow. We're watching the other two as well. We'll get you up to date with that coming up in just a second. All right, clouds and radar right now. As we take a look at the scene outside, beautiful day for the most part with a lot of sunshine. Let's go to the board and take a look at that. You'll see that we don't have much to worry about for now, although the clouds will be increasing in advance of a front that'll start to move in overnight into mainly tomorrow with it. A little bit of snow. We're not very impressed by this at all. We'll talk about that coming up in just a second. 26 degrees right now in Windsor Locks in Hartford, 28 in New Haven and Bridgeport. Chart topper right now, Danbury clocking in with 30 degrees. Here's the way it looks ahead. Increasing the clouds overnight today. A few snow showers in there for your Thursday forecast, mainly in the afternoon. So road warriors, may have a little bit of a coating to deal with, but we're not very impressed with storm totals at this point with this clipper. We're more impressed with the cold air that's coming into play behind it. We'll talk about that in detail, have a look at not only that, but the potential for some snow this weekend that may be a little more impressive. That's all coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Matt, thank you. We'll see you in a bit. As the snow continues piling up, so do the bills. Snow budgets are running dry for many cities and towns, even the state itself.
Yeah, Mayor Pedro Segarra in Hartford says one more storm in his capital city could be in trouble. Fox Connecticut's Louisa Moeller joins us live tonight with a look at how cash-strapped cities are dealing with Mother Nature's wrath.
Well, Brian, Audrey, they're getting creative. They're moving money around in their budgets. They're trying to do whatever they can, including hoping and praying. But the one thing they said they are not doing is compromising the safety of their towns, cities, and the state by leaving alone that snow removal and that snow preparation.
All of the snow has blown in an air of fiscal uncertainty, especially in the capital city.
Where are you with the budget now? Are you over budget?
Here's Hartford Mayor Pedro Segarra on Chaz and AJ Tuesday.
I think at this point, I think that budget is exhausted at this point. Three snowstorms back to back. We usually budget for about 3, but these have been
for the entire winter. You budget for 3?
Yeah, three storms. Yeah.
And now, Segarra's fresh-faced political opponent, Luke Bronin, is using the mayor's words for ammunition.
Yesterday on the radio, the mayor commented that the city budgets for 3 storms, which in New England just isn't responsible. It's not reasonable.
A spokesperson for the mayor said the city, in fact, budgets for 10 storms. The city's over $800,000 snow budget blown. It's a very real story that's playing out all over the state. Take here in Waterbury.
So we put $550,000 aside for the Public Works Department for for snow removal. We pretty much exhausted that.
Thankfully, Mayor Neil O'Leary says the city has reserves in a contingency fund.
We're 28 snow events already into this year. Last year we had 29 total, and that was a bad winter. So we're a little bit nervous about it, but we'll be okay.
A New Haven City spokesperson also said the Elm City is bumping up against its budget for snow. But after spending roughly $300,000 this year already, money can still be moved around due to a surplus in the Department of Public Works. The state already burned through $29 million of its $32 million snow budget, but the cruel reality, all leaders have to keep their residents safe.
We do not limit our spending on public safety on the highways by how much money has been appropriated. We spend the amount of money and then we figure out where we're going to cut the money from to make sure that public safety is first and foremost.
So here's the good news. From talking to the governor and also talking to many of these mayors in these big cities, we're hearing there's not a shortage of sand or salt and those materials to protect the roads before these major snowstorms. Live in Hartford, Louisa Moeller, Fox, Connecticut.
Calls for stepped-up security tonight in the wake of a massive data hack affecting more than 1 million Connecticut consumers. Up next, the plan from lawmakers to be sure it doesn't happen again.
And social media snub, a seemingly harmless tweet backfiring on Governor Malloy tonight, why feathers are being ruffled in Meriden.
Feeling lucky, a soaring jackpot has players lining up for a chance at the 5th largest jackpot in Powerball history.
Take money and run. Go on.